There are very few names in the history of American entertainment that carry the kind of weight that two words carry: Chuck Norris. Not just a movie star, not just a martial artist, not just a television icon. Chuck Norris was a category of his own, a man who turned discipline into an identity, toughness into a trademark, and quiet confidence into something the entire world looked up to for over 5 decades. And on March 19, 2026, at the age of 86, that force of nature left this world. He passed away peacefully in Kauai, Hawaii, surrounded by his family. And since that moment, the world, Hollywood, the martial arts community, the military, the political world, and millions of fans across every continent has not been the same. The grief that followed was not the kind that trends for a day and disappears. It was the deep, settled kind. The kind that makes people stop what they are doing, pull up an old Walker Texas Ranger episode, watch a clip from Way of the Dragon, or simply sit with a memory of the first time they saw Chuck Norris on a screen and felt genuinely convinced that this man was not entirely like the rest of us, because he wasn't. He earned his black belt in Tang Soo Do while serving in the United States Air Force. He studied under the great masters. He competed at the highest levels of full-contact karate before Hollywood ever came calling. Everything he became on screen, he had already earned off it. That is what made him different. That is what made him Chuck Norris. His family has requested privacy during this period, and that wish is being respected completely. As of now, no official funeral arrangements have been publicly announced, and no confirmed guest list has been released. The moment any official information becomes available, the date, the location, the details of any public memorial, we will bring it to you immediately. That is a promise. But while the world waits for those details, one thing is already becoming abundantly clear. When that farewell does happen, it is going to bring together a gathering of legends unlike anything the entertainment and martial arts world has seen in a very long time. Because Chuck Norris did not move through this world without touching people deeply. He trained with them, fought alongside them on screen, mentored them, inspired them, and in many cases changed the entire direction of their lives. And those people, the ones who knew him, worked with him, admired him from the mat and from the set, are already speaking, already grieving, already preparing in their hearts to say goodbye. And when the time comes, the names expected to walk through those doors will read like a who's who of everything Hollywood and the martial arts world have ever produced. Sylvester Stallone is expected to be among the first names on that attendance list. Their bond was forged on the set of The Expendables 2, where the two men shared the screen in a way that felt less like acting and more like a celebration of everything the action genre had stood for across 4 decades. But the friendship ran far deeper than one film. Stallone has spoken about Chuck Norris with the language of brotherhood, of two men who understood what it meant to dedicate your entire body, your entire identity to your craft. When Stallone arrives at that memorial, it will not be as a celebrity paying respects. It will be as a friend burying a brother. Standing right alongside him in that grief is Arnold Schwarzenegger, another Expendables co-star, another giant of the same golden era of action cinema. Schwarzenegger and Norris represented something together that no amount of marketing could manufacture: the idea that strength, discipline, and real dedication were values worth putting on the biggest screens in the world. Schwarzenegger has already spoken publicly about his loss, and his presence at Chuck Norris's farewell would be one of the most natural and powerful images that Hollywood has seen in years. Two mountains of that era standing together one final time. Then there is Jean-Claude Van Damme, the Belgian martial artist who built his own legendary career on the exact same foundation that Norris laid: real fighting ability, real discipline, real credentials brought to the screen with style and conviction. Van Damme has spoken about Chuck Norris throughout his career as one of the men who proved to the world that a genuine martial artist could become a genuine movie star. That respect is not casual, it is rooted. And Van Damme's expected presence at this farewell is the kind that carries emotional weight far beyond a simple appearance. Dolph Lundgren, the Swedish giant who brought his own impressive martial arts background to a film career that placed him among the elite of the action world, shares a lineage with Norris that goes beyond the screen. These were men who came from real physical foundations, real training, real competition, real sacrifice, and Lundgren's grief at losing Chuck Norris is the grief of someone who understood, perhaps better than most, exactly what it cost to be who Norris was. Bruce Willis, whose own journey through the action genre produced some of the most beloved films of the last 40 years, is among those whose expected attendance at this memorial would feel entirely right. Willis and Norris occupied the same universe of tough, no-nonsense American heroism on screen, different styles, different characters, but the same fundamental message that courage and grit are worth celebrating. Willis's relationship with that era of cinema makes his presence at this farewell not just expected, but deeply appropriate. Steven Seagal, the martial artist and actor whose career was built on the same tradition of bringing authentic fighting discipline to Hollywood, has long existed in the same world as Chuck Norris. Both men came from real martial arts backgrounds. Both men carried those backgrounds with them throughout their careers. Both men understood that what they were doing on screen was an extension of something they had genuinely earned off it. Seagal's expected presence at this farewell is that of one practitioner honoring another, one man of the mat saying goodbye to the greatest of them all. And then there is Jackie Chan. Perhaps no name in the history of martial arts cinema carries more universal love and recognition than Jackie Chan, and perhaps no relationship in that world is more layered with history than the one between Chan and the legacy of Chuck Norris. Chan's career was launched into Western consciousness through the same era that Norris dominated, and the mutual respect between these two worlds, the Hong Kong martial arts cinema tradition and the American action tradition, was something both men embodied and elevated. Chan's expected attendance at this memorial would bridge 2 continents, 2 traditions, and 5 decades of shared history in the most powerful way imaginable. As of this moment, no official funeral arrangements have been confirmed, no guest list has been released, no date, no location, no format has been publicly announced by the Norris family. They are taking the time they deserve and the world is giving it to them with full respect. But the moment any official information is confirmed, the minute any detail becomes public, we will be right here with it. Every update, the moment it is verified, will come straight to you. We will not let a single confirmed detail pass without bringing it directly to this channel. Until then, what we know with complete certainty is this: Chuck Norris lived 86 years in a way that most people could not manage in several lifetimes. He mastered a martial art. He built a film career from scratch. He created one of the most beloved television series in American history in Walker, Texas Ranger. He served his country, honored his faith, loved his family, and inspired hundreds of millions of people across the entire world to believe that discipline, hard work, and quiet strength are never wasted. His wife Gina, his son Mike, and his entire family are at the center of this grief, and whatever farewell they choose to give him, it will be shaped by the love of people who knew him not as a legend, but as a man. The world will say goodbye to Chuck Norris properly in time, and when it does, the room will be filled with the kind of faces and the kind of hearts that only a truly extraordinary life could have gathered together. It will be a farewell worthy of the legend. Rest in peace, Chuck Norris, the last true walker, the original total Jim, a man the world was simply lucky to have.